For the past few weeks you've been hearing me talking about fire, right? Now, you might saying, what does Declan mean by this fire? What is this fire Declan is talking about? Now, this fire is the fire of life, that energy within our being. This fire is that energy that moves us, that makes us do things. Now, you may hear the common saying that, if somebody do something courageous, you might say, hey, that person have a lot of guts. That's that fire that they manifested. That courage is a manifestation of that fire. Now, when we look at the Taoist yoga system, they talk about this guts or the stomach area, the energy center at the stomach, as a pot. They describe it as a cauldron or a pot. Now, we know that a pot by itself does not cook food. A pot by itself does not produce heat. You have to put that pot on a stove, on the fire, over fire. Now, when we look at our body makeup, below our stomach is our sexual organs. Now, you have another saying where people say, hey, you have no balls, you have no testicular fortitude, you're not a man. That is because they don't lack that fire. They lack that fire to cook. Now, what do I mean by cooking? A lot of people have education, they have friends, but they have a lot of influence, with people and so forth, but they're not accomplishing much in life. Why? Because they lack that fire. Sometimes somebody wants to make a change in their life. They start off hot and sweaty, fiery, but they cool down because they are unable to sustain their fire. Now, this fire of life or this energy in yoga, it is called Kundalini. It is at the base of the spine close to our sexual organs. That is where that energy remains latent. Now, as in physical fire, which need oxygen to burn and to ignite, through yoga practices, we use that same oxygen to increase the volume of that fire, to raise that fire from the lower centers to the higher centers, to the Ajna chakra and to the crown chakra, where we experience spiritual power, the spiritual insight and those things. Now, you can have everything in life. You can have a good education, you could have, again, come from a good family, you could be very moral and so forth. But if you don't have that fire, you can never accomplish anything. A good example is Malcolm X. Malcolm X was not an educated man, but he was still able to move people. He was still able to lead people. It's important because the thing is, men, our nature is to be that fire. It is our nature to lead. But many of our men, they are putting out their fire because of the system we live in. You understand? Because of the system, men and, other things put into factor, our lifestyle, our diet, smoking marijuana, and all these different things. Imagine young men, they sit and smoke weed to be mellow. A man have no right, especially if he living in poverty, have no right being mellow. A man needs to be fired up to do things, to accomplish things for his family, for his people. For his people. And that is the importance of raising that fire. That's why it's important we get engaged in practices to raise that fire. Because it's not about our education. We can have 10 degrees, 10 masters, a PhD, and still be poor, and still be nothing. We need to raise that fire. We need to raise our energy. Because without it, because a lot of people out there have good ideas, but they end up dying with those good ideas. Why? Because they lack the courage, they lack the fire. All these different names that psychologists give, shyness, timidity, and all these different things, are nothing more than the result of the lack of fire. If you want courage, you need to know how to light and sustain the fire within. And this was the purpose of all these ancient practices like Kundalini Yoga, Qigong, and all these different things. Is to ignite that fire within to do. Because you can have all the good intentions, you can have all the knowledge, you can have all the information, but if you do not have that fire, it doesn't make sense. If you do not have that fire, it will take you nowhere. Fire brings light, the light to see, but it also gives the heat to move, the heat to energize and to perpetuate your goals. Fire also expands. So when you see a man, you walk in all puffed up, he expanded, he's confident. It's because he has his fire lit. When a man walk with his head down, and I'm saying man because man is fire. Women on the other hand, they are the cooling aspect. They are the ones that cool us down. But, you know, when you see a man and his head down and he's timid or quote unquote shy, he has no fire. Again, a black man or a poor man has no right being cool or mellow. He needs fire to help himself, to help his family, to help his people. We have to learn these practices. We got to study them. We got to study the way, because this Western world don't teach us that. They teach us, you know, get a good education. They help you, you know, they let you focus on words. Words don't have power. Fire is that only power. It's the only power that you need. Because there are uneducated men that are accomplishing things. Why? Because they have the fire, they have the zeal, they have the enthusiasm to keep them going, to do and do and do until they bring home the success.